Imran Khan may just be the bravest man Pakistan has ever seen, and that statement alone is enough to rattle every pillar of the establishment that has choked Pakistani politics since 1947. Because in a country where every leader who dares question the military's omnipresent shadow is exiled, executed, or forced into compromise, like Bhutto, Asif Ali Zardari, like Sharif, like anyone who ever tried to stand upright, Imran Khan has done the unthinkable. He did not leave the country. He stayed. He fought. He roared back even from solitary confinement, even from a cell, even as rumors swirled outside Adiala Jail that he was dead, even as his sisters protested and thousands stormed the gates. And if he walks out today, he becomes a bigger hero than Pakistan has ever produced. In a nation where everyone else has bent, broken, or bargained, can Imran Khan's refusal to bow rewrite Pakistan's political destiny, or is this yet another sacrifice for the supremacy of the military dictatorship in Pakistan? Hello and welcome. You're watching Statecraft with me, Geeta Mohan. Pakistan's political history reads like a warning label. Challenge the establishment and you're finished. Bhutto mobilized masses. He was executed. Sharif tried to tame military power. He was exiled, disqualified, dragged through orchestrated cases. Every time someone questioned the sacred order, they were crushed, erased, pushed out. But Imran Khan shattered that script. Even after a no-confidence ouster in 2022, even after solitary confinement, even after over 900 days behind bars, he refuses compromise. He refuses exile. He refuses silence. And he even dared to question Biden's America on interference, a line no Pakistani premier has ever crossed. Is this defiance the reason he now stands alone, uncompromised, and persecuted? He was once the military's man, created and backed by the Pakistani establishment. But today, Imran Khan's journey from Adiala Jail to the center of Pakistan's political storm is nothing short of a seismic rupture in a country where political courage usually ends in a grave or an airport leading to exile. The prison administration can claim he is healthy, comfortable, well-fed, and reclining on a velvet mattress. But that facade collapses instantly when confronted with the reality screamed by his sisters, his sons, and his supporters. He's locked away in solitary confinement, denied visitation rights despite court orders, isolated in inhumane conditions that expose the underlying truth. Pakistani establishment fears Imran Khan more than any threat it has ever faced. And the louder the nation roars outside Adiala's gates, the tighter those gates clamp shut. The storms outside the prison are not random. They come in waves. First a sit-in, then thousands poured in, then rumors of death, then clashes with the police, then the protests swelled again. Then Imran's sisters were persecuted, they were detained. Then thousands of PTI workers surging so fiercely that authorities panic at the possibility of the jail being stormed. It is chaos the establishment created, chaos it cannot control, chaos fueled by one man's refusal to surrender. Because Imran Khan isn't just a political figure, he's become the embodiment of the unbroken Pakistani spirit that once called itself sovereign, democratic, dignified. To understand why Imran Khan stands alone today, you must understand the long, suffocating pattern that defines Pakistan's political history. From the 1950s onward, the military establishment didn't just influence politics, it authored it. Civilian governments were tolerated only as long as they obeyed. And the moment they questioned the real centers of power, they were silenced. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto rose against dictatorship, electrified the masses, became the face of Pakistani populism, then died on the gallows after a military coup. His execution wasn't just punishment, it was a message. Nawaz Sharif tried repeatedly to break free from military shadows, trimming presidential powers, challenging generals, asserting civilian supremacy. Each time, he was removed, humiliated, exiled, and dragged back into the arena on establishment's terms. Both Bhutto and Sharif, for all their battles, eventually bent to survive. Deals were signed, exiles negotiated, lines softened, but Imran Khan did not bend. And that has made him the most dangerous man Pakistani establishment has ever created. His rise was not accidental. PTI, founded in 1996, was dismissed for years as a one-man crusade. Then the frustrations of ordinary Pakistanis, corruption, compromised elites, suffocation of dignity flowed toward him. By 2018, he stood at the edge of power. Yes, he was aligned with the establishment at first. Yes, suspicion swirled that General Bajwa's nod helped him ascend, and there was tacit military support and backing for Imran Khan, but that temporary alignment masked the deeper reality. Imran Khan was too independent, too outspoken, too uncontrollable, too unwilling to share his political capital with those who considered themselves Pakistan's rightful rulers. The first fractures appeared with the removal of then ISI chief Asim Munir in 2019, an act that planted the seeds of the war that would later consume him. Everything after that spiraled: rifts inside the military, economic pressures, PDM agitation, and establishment fatigue with a prime minister who refused to obey. The no-confidence vote of April 2022 was the climax of a conflict long in the making, a political assassination carried out through parliamentary paperwork. And immediately after his ouster, Imran Khan unleashed a movement no Pakistani leader had dared unleash in decades. He accused the establishment openly. He spoke of betrayal. He spoke of a foreign conspiracy, pointing his finger explicitly at Biden's United States of America, accusing it of orchestrating his downfall through diplomatic pressure, threats, and manipulation of Pakistan's military command. His speeches rang with the charge that Biden's America wanted him gone because he refused to be a pawn, because he walked his own line on Russia, China, Afghanistan, and regional autonomy.
On the 7th of March, Becky, Under Secretary of State in the US, who's responsible for South Asia, he calls our ambassador, a meeting between our ambassador in Washington. He tells our ambassador, in an official meeting, there are note takers on both sides. He tells the ambassador that unless you get rid of your Prime Minister Imran Khan in a vote of no confidence, which, by the way, hadn't been tabled as yet, but he seemed to know about it, he said, unless you get rid of him, Pakistan will suffer consequences. And then goes on to say, of course, if you get rid of him through the vote of no confidence, all will be forgiven. Such arrogance, apart from anything else. By the way, Becky, this guy should be sacked for bad manners and sheer arrogance. Imagine telling a country, an ambassador of a country of 220 million people that you get rid of your prime minister. So this is where it started. The next day, this vote of no confidence is tabled in our parliament. The cipher was read out in the cabinet. There are minutes of the cabinet. Then I presented it in our National Security Council, where all the service chiefs were present. Why did I present them? Because this was a blatant intervention in the internal affairs of Pakistan, a regime change.
It is this narrative, this refusal to stay silent, this refusal to pretend, that electrified Pakistan. And it is this narrative that triggered the full force of the establishment's crackdown. Assassination attempts followed. The November 2022 shooting at Wazirabad, the arrests in 2023 that sparked historic riots, the stripping of PTI's election symbol, his 14-year sentence, his 7-year sentence as well, his disqualification, charges that multiplied like a machine designed solely to remove him from the political map. And through every blow, the establishment repeated the same miscalculation. They believed fear would break him. that Imran Khan did what none before him had done. He stayed in Pakistan and fought every single day.
The background is this, that ever since my party was removed from power, never has it happened that a political party's popularity has soared after that. Normally, when a party is removed, in the past, people have distributed sweets. The party has gone down and takes time for it to come back up. In this case, the popularity of the party went up. There was a strong reaction to my government being removed. Never has it happened. Hundreds and thousands of people came out on the street the next day to protest. So as time passed, the people in power who removed, one was the army chief at that time, and the other were the people who are right now in power. They replaced me. So as time passed, they thought it was a bubble. But all the by-elections, and as I said, 37 by-elections took place. We won 30 of them. So it's unprecedented. No party has the sort of popularity that we have. Hence the plot to kill me, because they thought that, to get me out of the way. And who was responsible? The people in power. One intelligence agency officer called General Faisal Nasir, and then the Prime Minister and the Interior Minister. Both of them have history of extrajudicial killing. I mean, there's an amnesty report about the current Prime Minister. He had some 900 people killed through police encounters. And there was a Model Town massacre. Both were involved in it. So they planned it. And 1.5 months before the assassination attempt, I went on public and told the public that this is what they have planned. And the religious so-called extremist was the one they would palm it off on. So I had predicted that, and it's exactly what happened according to script. Now, why my life is in danger right now? Because the same people are still in power, and they're even more threatened than before.
Even in solitary confinement, even when cut off from his sisters, even when his supporters were beaten, jailed, hunted, even when rallies were banned, even when the party symbol was stolen, even when PTI candidates were forced to run as independents, even when the election machinery bent the results, even when he was isolated behind four walls with a velvet mattress designed to be used as a political prop by ministers bragging that he had it better than five-star hotel food. He stayed unbroken, and that is why Pakistan trembles. The establishment can jail a man, it cannot jail an idea. And Imran Khan has become the idea Pakistan refuses to bury. But there is another dimension to this drama, one that exposes geopolitical fault lines the establishment desperately wants to hide. Imran Khan is the only Pakistani leader in history who openly questioned a sitting American administration about interference. He did not whisper, he did not imply, he said it out aloud. Biden's government interfered in Pakistan's domestic politics. Biden administration pushed for his removal. Biden officials leaned on Pakistan's military. And the Biden team did not want him in power. That is precisely why Imran Khan's accusations hit Washington like a diplomatic grenade. Because if he's right, if even half of what he claims is true, then the world's most powerful democracy interfered in one of the world's most fragile democracies to engineer a political outcome. That's not foreign policy, that's regime management. And suddenly, every leaked cable, every hushed meeting, every advice call from Washington to Rawalpindi starts looking less like engagement and more like orchestration. The uncomfortable question is, who was really governing Pakistan in 2022? The people, their elected leader, or a handful of generals following external cues? But here's the twist the US did not calculate. By removing Imran Khan the way they didn't weaken him. They mythologized him. They turned a politician into a martyr. They turned criticism into conviction. They turned suspicion into certainty for millions of Pakistanis who now believe the US military nexus is the real power structure running their country. And this belief is not dying down, it's multiplying. Because every arrest, every gag order, every crackdown on PTI only reinforces one thing in the public imagination. Imran Khan must have threatened something very big for so many powerful people to panic so fast. And he paid the price. His supporters call it persecution. They call his jail time politically motivated. They call every case a Biden-era vendetta. They call the corruption charges a facade for regime change. They call his solitary confinement a warning to anyone who dares to question American influence. And in Pakistan's charged political atmosphere, this narrative has become gospel. But then came the twist. Trump's return to the White House. For a brief moment, PTI supporters believed salvation had arrived. After all, Imran and Trump shared a cordial past. Trump had praised him before. Trump's envoy Richard Grenell had called Imran's charges politically false, comparing him to Trump's own battles with legal persecution. Imran Khan's sons knocked on doors in Washington. PTI supporters lobbied for Trump intervention. The dream was simple. Trump would pressure Pakistan, Trump would call out the establishment, Trump would push for Imran's release. But reality hit hard. Trump's second term turned out to be sharply transactional. He focused on deals, tariffs, energy projects, cooperation with the military-backed government, everything except Imran Khan. He strengthened ties with the very people holding Imran Khan behind bars. He prioritized American interests over ideals, and for Imran's supporters, it was a bitter surprise. Biden administration may have fueled his downfall, but Trump would not rescue him. Yet the irony is stark. Even abandoned by Washington, Imran Khan remains stronger inside a jail cell than any Pakistani politician walking free outside it. The establishment has tried everything: legal onslaughts, censorship, intimidation, force. But it cannot force the public to unsee what they have seen. Imran Khan is the only major Pakistani leader in decades who refused to compromise, refused to flee, refused to bow, refused to sign a deal for exile, refused to trade principles for safety. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was executed. Nawaz Sharif was exiled. Benazir Bhutto returned under deals. Politicians adjusted, negotiated, retreated. But Imran Khan, he held his ground. And that is why, if he is released today, he will not just return to politics, he will return as a legend, a myth, a symbol, a problem no establishment in Pakistan's future will ever again be able to control. He stands within a cell as the only uncompromised figure in a system built entirely on compromise. And Pakistan knows it, and the establishment fears it, and the world is watching. How long can Pakistan silence the only man who refused to leave when every other leader ran? Thank you for watching Statecraft.